apart on a walk to an area of the Western Arthur Range in southwest Tasmania. Been here a few times, this time only going part way along the range to a place called Lake Oberon. I won't actually go down to the lake, but I'll stop a bit before it. Yeah, so a good 5-day walk, a bit of a grunt today to get up onto the range. A bit chilly this morning, blue sky poking through. Weather forecast is sensational for the next 5 days. No rain or wind forecast at all, which is a rarity in Tasmania, I can tell you, to get days straight like that. So yeah, looking forward to it. Not looking forward to the walk in because it's a very muddy track. So anyway, we'll show you more of the hike once I get going. Right, been walking for an hour and 10 minutes. Just got some water at a creek back along the track there, and thought I'd point out these for those that ever want to do this walk. Most people would just be barreling through here and wouldn't even notice it, but it's a track marker that would have been put in years and years ago. They're put in every mile, and if you're really observant you can see each one, because there's creeks at 3 Mile or 4 Mile, and there's one at 7 Mile Creek, 9 Mile Creek. So yeah, you can see them all if you're observant. Years ago, about 20 years ago, I took lots of photos of them as a sort of a record, because you never know when fires come through. So they've survived the fires, but yeah, you can definitely see the fact that it's been a cut post. Nothing flash, but it's a bit of history on the walk that over time's just going to disappear, unfortunately. So yeah, in the days of miles, so that's going back a bit. Yeah. So we'll continue on. There's the range in the distance. A little bit of cloud on it. Very little wind. Quite warm, almost going to take my jumper off. So yeah, track's very muddy this time of year, of course, as opposed to summer. Plus there's evidence of lots of people walking in here with deviations going around the mud holes. So ultimately it's going to end up a bloody great big bog of a walk. Anyway, right, about 10-15 minutes away from Junction Creek. It's now 10 to 10, so left at 7. It's taken 3 hours. The mud wasn't as bad. I mean, there's mud, and as you can see on my boots, but that's nothing compared to what it can be like some years with a lot of foot traffic and water. So anyway, up here is the Western Arthur Range, and the end one there with the moraine going up is Moraine A. There's a route up A, there's one down E, which isn't used very much now. It comes from the top up there and ends up coming back to the Port Davey track. And there's Moraine K, which is down there. Most people that do the Arthur Range come out via K. For those that are going to continue on and do it properly, you can come out further down past where the farthest point is, and from there you can continue on and do the Eastern Arthurs and Federation Peak. My intention is to camp right at the very top of Moraine A, where it crests the range. There's some reasonable campsites up there, a little bit exposed, but no winds forecast. And I've now found where you can always get water up there. It's only a short drop off the range, 5 minutes. So yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully it's going to take me most of the afternoon to get up there with the bloody pack weighing like it does. Here we are at Junction Creek. It's quite low, but unfortunately the campsite got burnt out in the fire as well. It was never much of a place to camp, it was always dark and gloomy. But yeah, A lot of people camp here when they've either coming off the range or coming along the Arthur Plains. And then you've only got a 3-hour walk out, probably 2.5 hours at the end of a walk when you're fit and your pack doesn't weigh much. Anyway, I'll show you the creek. Yes, sometimes it's well and truly above these steps, and that makes it interesting crossing. But fortunately there's a bit of a log jam and someone strung a rope across, so that made it easy and dry tootsies. So yeah, we've got a couple more little creeks to cross. So yeah, I'll have something to eat here and then push on for the base of Moraine A, which will take about 3/4 of an hour. Right, slowly making my way across the plain towards Moraine A, which I'm not looking forward to, the grunt carrying 23 kilos up the hill. Now some would say that's a light pack, but the older you get the more you feel the weight, I can tell you. Yeah, so nice cool breeze, so it won't be too hot climbing up. And there's the moraine there, straight up. Yeah, the first part's vertical almost, and as you can see it slowly makes its way up that spine and sort of plateaus out a bit. And it's one of those annoying climbs that the further you go, the steeper it becomes. Yeah, the last part's a real pinch and you just want it to be over. You can really feel the burn and the pain. But we keep coming back for more. I don't know how many times I've come up to this range, probably over the years a dozen. So yeah, it's a magic place, and the videos I'll take up on top will prove my summation of the area. Magic spot. That's Mount Hesperus up there. Used to have a trig on it, which I presume Parks pulled down. But yeah, that's the first peak you conquer when you're doing the range. You get a few points for that. And as you can see, there's plenty of other peaks all the way along. Mount Picton in the distant, Burgess and Chapman, I don't know which is which. And coming around to Mount Sarah Jane, Mount Eliza and Mount Anne, the little pointy one behind. So yeah, we're actually walking on the Port Davey track at the moment, which goes all the way down to Port Davey and Melaleuca. For those that want to do the walk along the South Coast track without flying in, this is one way you can do it, but bugger that, it takes several days to walk down there, and I've heard mixed reports about the worth of doing it. Right, here we are at the turn off to Port Davey. As you can see, the track is not nearly as worn as the one coming into the Arthurs, so very few people, I think, actually walk the Port Davey track. Most people fly in if they're doing the South Coast track, and yeah, the hundreds of dollars that the airfare is bloody worth it, absolutely, instead of a trudge down a valley. But that's only my subjective opinion, probably people will disagree. So yeah, we're about to head up that beast, and fortunately it's not too hot and there's a nice cool breeze blowing, so I'm picking that will be just what the doctor ordered for the walk up there for the umpteen hours in front of me. I'm not going to put a time on how long it's going to take me, 20 to 12 now. So yeah, get some water over here and begin the grunt. Right, we'll be going 25 minutes, nearly half an hour from the rocks at the bottom. It's reasonable, it's not as painful as I thought, but later on it will be. I just know it. And here's the view. Mount Anne in the distance. And the route ahead. Right, the last hour to 2 hours up there, believe it or not. It's slow going up there because it's so steep. It's like it is at the beginning. Apologies for the wind noise. Mount Hesperus, looking down the range. And round to Lake Oberon in the distance. And over the back there, the Franklin Range, which runs along the shore of Lake Oberon all the way to the Serpentine Dam. That's a good 10-day walk off track. Right, made it up to the top of Moraine A. Got the tent up, got some water, had a cup of tea. Took me 2 hours 40. Actually less than that because I stopped heaps of times taking videos. So if you take all that time away, yeah. So no wind, well, very little. I camped here when I came up one other time with Michael. We put our tent in this little spot. It's semi-sheltered, but yeah, just magic up here. It's certainly clearing up out towards the west. We'll just go and look at the view over the edge down towards the moraine, and of course Lake Oberon in all its glory down there. Just bloody magic. Now, there's Moraine A, and the track is sort of down on the plain there. You can see it going back towards Junction Creek, and then it goes out towards Red Knoll Hill. You can just see a bit of the road on the hill there. Back a bit, somewhere there anyway. Mount Anne in the distance. Very windy night last night, but managed to get some sleep through it all. And very cloudy and cold this morning, having breakfast in the pack up, but now it's the promise of an absolutely blue sky day with a sea of cloud below. Don't know if you can see in the distance, but Mount Anne's over there swinging round. I think that might be Mount McConaughey, and down to Port Davey. There's actually a bit of a bow of types there, or a Brockenspector. My shadow and the rainbow in it. I've only seen about 3 or 4 of them in me life bushwalking. Yeah, absolutely magic when you can get it. Just the light refracting, look at that coming clear. Oh, what a day! And the cloud and mist just rolling over the ranges down there. This is what it's all about. And Mount Hesperus up just over the back there, which we'll climb to. It's only a 5-minute walk off the track. So yeah, off to Square Lake today. Right, stop just below Mount Hesperus. Looking down to Bathurst Harbour and Melaleuca, where the airstrip is, and around to Port Davey. It's only in probably the last 10 years that I've seen evidence of prolific fire on the Arthur Range, especially near the tops. It's certainly come up from the valley. They talked about 5 years ago dry lightning strikes. Well, I've spent half my life on the planet and never heard of dry lightning strikes until in the last 5 years. So people talk about global warming. Well, maybe this is evidence of it. So if you want to do the Western Arthurs, come and do it before it all gets cooked. Horrible thing to say, isn't it? Lake Cygnus. In the route ahead. I never like camping at Lake Cygnus. I think it's not much of a spot, no views. So yeah. Mist is still hanging around. That bump just back over and down is Square Lake, which is where I'm heading today. Mount Doom. Bloody steep coming down there. Over to the Snowy Range and Mount Weld. And a bit of Schnell's Ridge. What a day, it's still holding its own. And there's the track just going up. Where are we? There. Yeah, and then along to that saddle over there. Probably take me best part of 3/4 of an hour to get there. One thing about the Arthurs, the distances are not great, but the time is. Like a bloody yo-yo, you're up and down, up and down. It's a bit tedious after all. You definitely need a pole, a lecky pole. They certainly act like a third leg and take pressure off your knees and legs and give you extra balance. They're bloody great, so they're worth the extra grams to bring on a walk like this. Definitely recommend them, without a doubt. Good afternoon. Made it to Square Lake campsite at just
just after 12, so it took me a bit over 4 hours to get here, but I wasn't hurrying and stopping for heaps and heaps of videos, so that's a good time. Had a bit of a doze after the slog and a bit of lunch, and I'm now going to shoot up behind me to the ridgeline there, which overlooks Lake Oberon, where Peter Dombrovskis took his iconic shot that has basically been the magnet for every wilderness photographer in Australia to make a pilgrimage to. So it'll be interesting to see how the degradation in the area where he took his shot has occurred. Right, so this is the campsite, and I'll wander over to the edge to show you Square Lake. It's a pretty impressive location here. That looks like some medieval castle. You expect the orcs to start hurling abuse and other undesirable objects at whoever's below them. It's certainly what it reminds me of. You can do a skyline traverse and come back down here. Yeah, walk around right the way around the top here. So that's where we're heading. Probably take me half an hour, 3/4 of an hour to get up there. It's a bit of a steep grunt. Here's the track over there. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll spend having a wander around. I might do the circuit, but I'll camp here. I'm not going to camp up on the ridge. It means you've got to carry water up there as well, and it's such a grunt. So yeah, I'll get up in the morning to do a sunrise shot. So anyway, we'll go and look at Square Lake. I suppose it's square when looked at from certain angles. So yeah, nice colour in it. I saw a witch-tailed eagle's nest up there one year with the parent and its young one flying off. Magic spot and superb echoes. Good! Don't know if you heard that, but yeah, it's a real echo chamber. I hope the cloud stays off, but I'm not hopeful. This evening I'm sure it's going to descend. So we'll wait and see. GoPro stop recording. Right, here we are, the magnificent view. Certainly is something. Federation Peak just over the back there in the distance. A bit murky. Yeah. I'm now going to hunt around for suitable locations to photograph from up here. This one doesn't thrill me, so yeah. I'll find something else. I believe in the early days the track used to go straight down, and the campsites, as you can see, are down here, and a very, very visible track, which of course wasn't nearly as visible in Peter Dombrovskis' day. So that just shows the track work that's been done and the numbers of people coming here. It takes forever to get down to the campsite, 3/4 of an hour to an hour. Yeah. And then the rest of the range you follow to Moraine A, which is over there. And now Picton in the background. Yes. Bliss.